So the holidays can mean many different things to many different people. You may feel super excited to go home, but then you kind of feel stressed out as well, or maybe you're feeling pressure to hang out with certain family members more than others, or you're going through something personally and you just aren't feeling up to the festivities as everyone else is experiencing them. I have 3 tips today for practicing self-love during the holidays, and this is so important as we just may have more people around us and be interacting with different energies. My number 1 tip sounds pretty basic, but I absolutely love it and have to remind myself to practice it over and over again, and that is to just accept what you're feeling. Don't beat yourself up if you're going home for Thanksgiving or for Christmas and you're feeling really stressed out and you're not really feeling up to it. And if you're starting to feel, bummed out or anxious about spending time with certain family members, you have to accept that part of yourself first before you can, strategize or think about the way you want to approach things such as communication. When you don't accept how you're feeling, that's oftentimes how we get into hyper-reactive mode, aka you just start snapping at everyone you care about, and we don't want that. My second tip for self-love during the holiday is to set an intention for when you're home. And I did this last year for Thanksgiving. I just had a bunch of stuff going on in my life, and I was really afraid that I was just gonna go from New York to California, and the whole trip was just gonna fly by, and I wasn't going to be present. And instead, I decided to set an intention and just said, the entire time I'm home, I just want to feel, very connected. I don't want to be thinking about, the next day. I don't want to be stressed out about hanging out with too many people at once. And so I disconnected from social media. I didn't check my phone very much. So all of the things that I did when I was home were guided by the intention I had. So you can have the intention of, practicing, boundaries when you're home. You can have the intention of connecting. You can have the intention of just being present with the people you love, but you want to choose like a phrase or a word that's going to help guide you so you don't feel like how I felt in the past where you're just pulled all over the place and feeling pretty stressed out and chaotic. My third tip for practicing self-love when you head home for the holidays is to remember you are an adult. And what I mean by that is I live in New York City full-time, and when I fly back to California, sometimes when I'm in my childhood environment, I start to actually think and feel like my 13-year-old self. And not that my 13-year-old self wasn't amazing, but I just start to feel a little less empowered than I actually am. So I may start to, pick fights with my brother, or I may start to feel really angsty like I did when I was in my home environment. And how can we not? When we go home, we're in the same place we were raised. Sometimes we feel younger when we're around our family because they've known us for so long. But my third tip is to remember that you have resources now as an adult that you didn't have when you were a kid and you're going home. So you can actually, go for a drive if you need to take a minute to yourself. You can take a yoga class and schedule that in between family functions. You have resources now that you maybe didn't when you were younger. So use them. I hope you enjoy my 3 tips for self-love during the holidays. I'd love to hear from you. Any tips that you have, go ahead and email me or leave a comment on the blog.